Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Fatback 4 on this Sunday night. Gav here with Seany, with Grizz, and with Keith, and we get to look back at the magnificent seven. That's what we've called this show, because Liverpool went to Palace yesterday and absolutely put them to the sword, and little bit more, I suppose, on top of that. But we did do a reaction show yesterday, which was meant to be 10 minutes, and it lasted 32. But this one is packed out tonight, and we're going to go through all the goals. We're going to go through the lineups, a couple of players individually. We're going to have a look at the festive season, the January transfer window coming up, and a few bit more bits on top of that. Seany, I'm going to come to you first because you're my favourite, and you're the best looking.
Oh, that's all right.
That's all right. Look, Grizz is upset already. Look, he's going mad.
No, I'm saying that's all right.
I'll just keep an eye on my phone here for the WhatsApp from Grizz. Seany, we go into that one yesterday, and we know how fantastic it is. But when we're going into this game, 12:30 kickoff, play during the week. Looks like we're going to go fairly similar to what we did against Spurs. When you're going into it, are you thinking, banana skin here? Or in your words, as I seen during the game yesterday, it's just one you need to manage?
Yeah. It's like everyone has this stigma around Selhurst because of what happened in 13-14. But if you look at Klopp's record there, it's actually impeccable. I don't think he's lost a game. I don't even think he's drawn a game there. I think he's won every game he's played there. So I think just in the back of our minds, we always kind of have that there. It's sort of like some sort of PTSD. But they've been playing well, Palace, but mainly away from home. So the home record is kind of flattered to the sieve. And they do have players that can hold you on the counter. So it was one of those games because, look, we're not full strength and we seem to be managing. And it's a 12:30 kickoff, like you said. And we've become slow starters this season. So 12:30 on a Saturday, we were held to the fact that they hadn't got fans there, because I think if they have fans there, it's a completely different game, which sounds like a bit of a ridiculous thing to say, but it is a factor when it comes to Palace, because they're regarded as the best home fans in the league. But we started well. We got the goal 2 minutes in. But after the first goal, we go to bits. We go to bits. We looked leggy. We looked tired. And it was just one of those where you just said, look, just get through to this. Get into halftime at 1-0 here, and we'd be grand. And the game just flipped on its head with two bits of brilliance from Sadio. And the third goal is just Bobby Firmino. Back to front, it's unbelievable. It was the most I've enjoyed a Liverpool performance this season, because the players who we usually can't really rely on, they were there yesterday. Minamino was brilliant yesterday. Keita was brilliant yesterday. Like the co-stars, so to speak, stepped up and made it a really, really enjoyable game. It was excellent. The football in the second half was unbelievable.
It was, and I want to talk about whether it's a statement on that later on. But Grizz, we are going into it. We have the whole issue around the 12:30. You see Matip coming in for Reece Williams. You see Keita coming in for Jones, and there's a third change in there somewhere that's completely gone out of my head. It's Minamino for Salah.
Salah,
yeah. So you see those changes, and you're saying to yourself, Minamino hasn't set the place on fire, but he has a performance in him. Keita's been in and out through injury and stuff like that, and you're wondering what Keita will show up. And Matip is a bonus to be back, although Reece Williams done really, really well against Spurs. So when you're going into this, Grizz, are you thinking, are you thinking that along Seany's lines, it's a game you need to manage because of the midweek game? Or is it one where you think, no, listen, there's well enough on that side where you just go and manage it, but you have enough to beat Crystal Palace, because they play during the week as well?
Yeah, and your last question, or your last line of your question, is absolutely critical in my opinion. The fact that they were coming off sort of 2 games. This was going to be their 3rd game as well in about 7 days as well. And the fact that they had to play near enough the same team. It just gave you an insight into other teams, how they sort of end up playing when they're sort of involved in a heavy schedule like we are every single week. Do you know what I mean? So this was a one-off, a rarity for Palace to have to play 3 games in 7 days. And it showed in the performance. And along with Sean's point about the crowd, I've been to that crowd, and I agree. That's one of the loudest loyal fan bases.
You said that.
They've got.
You said that as if you've made an appearance at Selhurst Park and they've given you a brilliant reception.
Yeah, no, it was
Bruce
kind of.
Springsteen.
No, I tell you, and you guys will laugh, right? But see, I've got a story about this. It was quite an appearance because it was Naby Keita's first game. He made his debut there.
The famous Grizz Can game. Yeah, I remember.
Right. So yeah, do you remember? And so there was a couple of fans that sort of just knew me off Twitter and said, "Oh my, Grizz, what's happening, mate? Blah blah. Naby Keita, your boy," because loads of memes were made of me and Naby Keita married. I don't know if you remember that. Because I was so insistent that
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah.
I must go and see them.
Oh, videos of me and Naby Keita, like husband and wife, one of those.
I must have had you on mute at the time. That's why I didn't see
you. Exactly. But we were still building our relationship at that time. I was Naby Keita. Yeah, I was Naby Keita. Me and Naby Keita were an item back then. So yeah, fond memories of that place. And I don't know what it is. It probably goes back to the Brendan Rodgers game where the famous 3-3 draw, was it in the end?
Yeah.
So
infamous.
the infamous, the stigma is attached around that still, but as Seany says, we've got a magnificent record there. We actually pam them every time we play them near enough. I mean, last season was a bit nervy, where we needed a Bobby scrambled goal, I think it was.
Yep.
But yeah, overall I was confident, especially with no crowd, especially with a small turnaround for them. But again, 12:30 kickoffs, basically same core of players. And then you hear Mo Salah's not starting. So the nerves were a bit jingly, but we made the opposite of we made the opposite start of against from Fulham, where we scored in the first 5 minutes, and we took it from there.
Yeah, we absolutely did, Keith. We spoke about the lineup yesterday on the reaction show and what we felt going into it, but I want to start going through the goals, and we done this yesterday, but it's good to get more opinions on this, and it's like we done it right after the end of the game, so when I've actually watched the match back since, and when you do, you notice a lot more things, but there was one thing, Keith, and the first goal, it's a ball into Mane, who's come across, made a run across the box. He gets it, Minamino. It's a decent touch. Klein sells himself a bit, and it's a fabulous finish. But the one thing that stood out for me was, I think it's Trent plays the ball in, but you can hear the Palace bench saying, get at him, and they don't, and they stand off, and as soon as they stand off, the quality shows straight away. They stand off him, they stand off Mane, they're not tight enough to Minamino, bang, goal. You can't give Liverpool that space, Keith. I don't care what the players are, what form they're in, you cannot give that sort of space to a team like that. It's simple.
Yeah, it's a bit mad, and I don't know if we haven't been at our sparkling best lately, and maybe teams are a bit complacent against us now as well. I know you're saying they're shouting to get tight, but the players weren't getting tight. Or maybe they were looking at it and thinking, well, Mane's not being on the boil, Minamino hasn't done anything for Liverpool. But it was an excellent goal. I mean, the touch to get away from it, he got a bit of criticism in the commentary. I was watching for a heavy touch, Minamino, but then you seen the replay and he just set himself up beautifully for it and took an absolute strike at the ball, a lovely clean strike into the bottom corner. That was a great goal. We are right, they did sort of stand off, and I know they were missing a few players and all that, but they had Kouyaté playing as centre back. He's played there a lot for them, but he's not naturally a centre back. But he gave a lot of space, but it was early in the game and we punished them, and it was the team for what was to come, was that we punished them. We've had games where we've missed a lot of chances, or we haven't actually created a lot of chances even. But yesterday we were clinical from the very start. And that was, first attack, bang, goal. Great goal. Wasn't a scruffy goal, wasn't a scrappy goal. It was an absolute bleeding, belting goal. And each of the goals as they went on were just excellent. And it was the first time you're not worried about VAR. Do you know what I mean? Because you can see every single goal.
It was actually, when I was watching it back, I was like, yeah, there's no doubt in any of these. It was great.
Yeah, and every single one of them. And even though in your head, you're like, is there anything there? Like, the first goal, I'll say there was no VAR. I'm looking at it and I'm like, did that hit Mane's hand? It didn't hit Mane's hand, obviously. But, you're now conditioned and programmed to think that they're going to pull up on something. But it was just a great goal and it was a great start. Seany touched on what happened after that, but it was a great start. And I think we needed it after the Fulham game the week before.
Well, we did. And sorry, Grizz. Go on. I'll let you go on. Go on.
I just wanted to add on from that goal because Minamino and a lot's been said about his selection and everything. And I really enjoyed that finish, lads, because he's been in those positions quite a bit where he's tried to hit it first time, snatched at it, and a lot of his shots are getting blocked. And you can see the frustration or, building up on him. And also like sort of the disallowed goal. What was it? The last game where he thought he got the winner? Was it the last, something like that?
Yeah, Midtjylland.
Midtjylland, yeah, that's it. But this one was, and of course I'm not comparing him to R9, but this was the R9 finish where R9 was so intelligent, clever, sharp in the box, where he knew the first shot, if he shoots first time, it's going to get blocked. And he took an extra touch. And I thought that's a sign of the growing confidence in Minamino as well. When you're confident of that touch, getting you away from the defender, and the finish was clinical. So I just wanted to point that out.
No worries. Sorry, I'll come to you now. Go on, Seany. Go on.
All along, though, haven't we? That someone's gonna get a hide in one of these weeks. So it was there was games where we create loads of chances, and that's just what yesterday was. It was just clinical. It had to be soul destroying from anyone from the outside looking in there.
It's, I don't know about soul destroying, but I think ominous might be the word. I think they still we'll talk about how the league is shaping up later, but there's plenty of teams I believe still think they're in a massive show here, and I think they've every right to, with regards to the league, because I think it's mental. But I think it's a mix of both. Grizz on that. I think when that comes into him, I think he could hit a first time. I think there might be a slight lack of confidence that he takes the touch. Okay, but when Klein puts his foot across him, it would have been easy to snatch it and think your chance is about to go, but he doesn't. He delays it that little second and lets Klein sell himself, and then lets the ball get out of his feet and then bashes it in. So I think the first touch, you're kind of going, oh, he's making sure here. But when his reaction and his the way he manipulates the situation when Klein comes in, I think is really good, and it's a fantastic finish. Just hit it hard and low, and you've every chance of scoring. Avi H says, with a super chat, thanks a million. He said, "Merry Christmas, lads. Love from California." Thanks a million. Ramesh Khalil says. Ramesh Khalil says, lads, what do you think of Man United and the rest of the chasing pack? Also thoughts on Salah and his AS interview. Thanks so much for the content and Merry Christmas. And that's also a super chat. Ramesh, you do this to me every week, I think. You literally write down my agenda on a super chat 10 minutes into the show, and then I have to tell you, listen, we will be back to that. We are most certainly going to talk about the festive period. We're going to talk about how the league is shaping up, and we're going to talk a little bit about Salah and that interview as well. So thanks for the super chat, and we will not forget it, because genuine, you've just typed onto the screen what I have written down, so there's no chance of us forgetting it. Seany, you touched on something earlier about we went to bits after that. Where do you think that comes from? Is it a case of us being sloppy, or did Palace just up it a bit and kind of the plan that you had to contain us isn't going to work, we're going to have to come out here? What do you think happened there? Because I thought it was more down to where sloppiness that Palace looked like they were going to get back into the game, to be honest. I thought we were staring at an equaliser at one stage.
We looked tired, Gav. We looked laboured. It was a very laboured first half performance. Like the scoreline flattered us in the first half. Don't get me wrong. I thought we looked so leggy, just getting around. Like you could see the energy that Minamino brought into the side was well needed, and I think he was brought in there to kind of press Klein, because we watched Palace the week before and Klein was fucking absolutely rubbish. But we looked tired, Gav. I think it's starting to creep up now on us the last couple again. Like, we don't forget, we only played Spurs as well there, which was probably the most intense game of the season so far, because that was a real slobber knocker, game of best, elite level game of football, and they walked that bollocks off against Spurs, and it's starting to tell. But they just I don't know where they got it from. It was one of those days where you need to be clinical going there, and fucking every shot we took ended up going in the net. It was unbelievable. But the 8-day break now has just come at a perfect time. This mini break, it's mad that we're calling a week between a game of break at this stage. It's well needed, and I just think we're turning the corner at the perfect moment in the season. This is what we need. The huge win against Spurs. which is a complete momentum swinger. Because you know what I mean? Everyone was saying, oh, Spurs top of the league. But we were level on points the whole time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To go top then, and then to print a performance like that, it's unbelievable timing on their behalf. And coming into this period with players coming back.
Yeah, it's the key, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge for us. It's like we're catching a break finally. And it was just brilliant. Yesterday, like Keith said, there was not a whisker at VAR. There was no shite going to look at screens. There was nothing being pulled up. It was just an unbelievable performance. And Glenn Hoddle, I think, was choking on his bleeding halftime sandwich.
Hoddle was trying his best to be complimentary and at the same time sounded absolutely sick. But I think the lack of VAR and stuff, I thought it flowed so well. I enjoyed watching it somehow, and don't get me wrong, the 7 goals helps. But I did enjoy it more because it was like, there's no interruption here, there's no drama, it's just 2 teams playing. Liverpool were just better, and that was it. Jono disagrees with me. He says he thinks a lot of teams feel they can. He doesn't feel a lot of teams come into Premier League. Spurs look dead already after 1 loss at Anfield. Matt from the Tottenham blog, a friend of ours, said he's very sad at the moment. I don't know what to say to you, Matt. I really don't. I blame your mate. That you had the pod with me last week when he said that Spurs feel invincible. Those words rang in my ears for a couple of days after that. But listen, you never know how it goes. It's a little bad patch for Spurs, but I don't know who they have next. But we'll see how it goes. Universal boss Jurgen Klopp, he said on a super chat, "Evening boys, something amazing happened today. The BBC voted Liverpool as the best team in the UK and Klopp the best coach. We never get these awards. Well, they're totally deserved tonight, I think. And fair play to Liverpool, fair play to Jurgen Klopp, and well done, Jordan Henderson. I believe he came runner-up in the Sports Personality of the Year. I presume it's the Lewis Hamilton. Keith, you were on Twitter. And you were causing eruptions on Twitter yesterday because you just told everyone that Palace didn't have a sniff. Alisson wasn't walked. People were overreacting and stuff like that. But I think Palace were threatening. I think Liverpool were allowing them back in. And I don't mean like glaring opportunities, but when that goes on, it can build into something. And next of all, a mistake is, or a fella can hit a shot and go in, and it's just the way it's gone for the last 15, 20 minutes. But I want to get beyond that because Mane's been off form a little bit. I think that's fair to say. I don't think he's been as potent as he usually is. But that goal yesterday was Sadio Mane, wasn't it? And it was Roberto Firmino. It was a little touch from Firmino, little touch from Mane, and bash in the net. No messing. I was absolutely delighted with that, and that had to have settled some nerves, Keith.
Yeah, it was spot on there, Gav. It was what's good about the 2 of them. It was Firmino. We're going to speak about him now in a few minutes. We touched on it yesterday and after the show, but he's getting that little bit of spark back, and he does things like that, and it comes off for him. Now, Firmino, it's just a little through ball. It's a cute little pass. He does them quite regular, but it's not leading to a goal, so it doesn't get the credit. But that was just sharp, you know what I mean? He gets a winner against Spurs at the last minute. What does that do for his confidence? Well, you saw it yesterday, what it's doing. He's picking the ball up, he's treading that little ball in, and Mane takes it, sets himself up, and just blasts it in. And that's Mane at his best as well. It's instinctive. It's he knows where the goal is, and that's one of the things about Mane. Mane always, no matter what the angle or where he is, he's very good at getting shots on target. He's very good at finding the target. Not always scoring, but finding the target. And that was, I think it was needed. We spoke about it, and we'll speak about it as well. A lot of these goals were needed from players for their confidence as well. And Mane getting that one. Again, I think Chris was on yesterday, and he said about Minamino getting his one at the very start of the game. The first goal was important. Mane getting an early goal was important. But it was just what's good about air attack. And you could see, without going too much in, it was a lad Jimbo that I was having a bit of a hoo-ha with. And just to clarify, it's not that I thought Palace, I just expected more from Palace. They were breaking on us, but they weren't getting their chances. And I expected with players like Eze, with Zaha, with Oyu, Miljovic, I expected them to be a bit more threatening, and they weren't. But then we were clinical, and we, as Seany said, it wasn't a great first half, but we went in 3-0 up because we took our chances. And it's not something that we haven't been doing, but this game we took our chances. I think we had eight shots on target.
I think that's what's ominous for people. Because if Liverpool start taking their chances, they will win 99% of the games because they create way more than opposition. Grizz, just on the, not so much on the Mane goal, but I seen something lovely on Twitter yesterday, and it was if you remember, Liverpool FC brought out a video a little while back about a guy that walks in the flurry in Liverpool along with Timo Tierney, and the guy's name escapes me now, but anyway. Lee, that's it. Lee, yeah, and he's a charity worker. He does a lot of work for charity in the flurry with Timo Tierney, and basically he does this video. For anyone that hasn't seen it, he does this video. He meets Sadio Mane via link because of the whole COVID stuff. Goes to Anfield, scores at the Kop, and he tells Sadio that this is his celebration. And I seen you tweeting about it yesterday, Grizz. That was lovely, wasn't it? To see Sadio score and actually remember that guy and do that celebration. It was a proper touch of class.
It was, and what made it even more beautiful was the fact that Sadio, who normally scores every other week, suddenly had to wait 5 weeks for this celebration, but he still remembered to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was beautiful of him. It just, indicative of the kind of man, the beautiful soul that Sadio Mane has. On the pitch, he's an absolute warrior, but you never see him sort of growling or anything. He's always smiling. The way he plays, even when he gets fouled, he smiles at the defenders, but he's got this cold-blooded killer inside him. And well, we may touch on it when it came out a little bit when he got substituted, but that was a beautiful touch from him, and the fact that he remembered after 5-6 weeks without sort of scoring and the goal drought, and still remembered it was beautiful. A lovely human being, Gav, an absolute diamond, you can tell. And it's one of those periods where we just cherish these players that we've had, and we're going to look back and think, wow, not only what amazing players they were, but what amazing people they were. The things that they've done on and off the pitch, and he's the one of the very few that does so much off the pitch, and I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah, and you know what? Lee Swan is the guy's name. Go and have a look up the flurry. They do amazing work around Liverpool. That's being brought on even more so by the COVID situation. And when you watch the video, they give you a bit of background, but the website even gives you more. And it's a lovely thing to look up. And it was a lovely moment. I thought it really was. I seen it yesterday. I think it was actually Grizz that tweeted it, and I seen it yesterday. And I thought, I'm going to mention that because it was a really nice thing for Mane to do, and a little bit of recognition, a little bit more recognition for the work that they do there, along with others, loads of other people around all the cities and around the world, I suppose, at this stage, with the way things are going on. Pat Panisar, just a bit of support to the channel for super chat, thanks a million. He says, because my man Bobby is back on it. Bobby's on it, and if Bobby's on it, Pat's just giving us loads of money. Deadly. Keep up the great work, guys. Pat Panisar, why his name come before? Me and Keith just thought of a song straight away.
Pat Benatar, yeah.
Yes, Pat Benatar, yeah. What was the song?
I was thinking of We Are Young, and you were thinking of We Belong, I think. Yeah,
a lot of We's in Pat Benatar's songs, isn't there? She's all about the group. Does never thinks of herself. Yeah, me too. I might ring her. Is it a man or a woman? It's a woman, isn't it?
A woman. Get her on the show.
No, I might ring her and see if we can use some of her songs as a theme tune. Yeah. Because you're not allowed to do that nowadays. They sue you. But anyway, Grizz, I want to stay with you. And I'm going to let you, because I did say Seany was my favourite earlier, and I know it upset you, so I'm going to try and make it back up to you, okay? And I'm going to let you take it away with the third goal, if that's okay.
No, that's absolutely fine. And you asked Seany about sort of in terms of, was it, how did the rest of the Premier League feel after we won that? Well, I think that goal, they must have all sat down and thought, oh fuck, here we go, they're back. I mean, that goal was Liverpool at its Jurgen Klopp best. I'm thinking of similar goals where we've scored like that, and one comes to mind straight away in recent times, the one we scored against Man City last season.
Salah's header.
Ended up with Salah's header, yeah. Another one comes to mind with Hoffenheim in Emre Can scores at the end. And this one, you talk about timing of goals and the way the game was going. So I did think they were a threat, Keith. I just think they didn't have I just think that the players weren't good enough to take the chances or situations that they created. And they created 2-3 clear-cut opportunities for a chance, if you know what I mean. But obviously they find the ball, whatever wasn't. And XG chain says so.
Well,
So this goal, Gav, the beauty of it was it's like, so you're in the congested part of the on the R right, their left, and there's a sort of, when you do a drop ball and there's about 3-4 players around it trying to kick it away, whatever, and then that young man Trent, who up till then on the ball was majestic as he always is, off the ball he wasn't very good at all. But still has the confidence to pick out a pass to Bobby. Just one of your golf chips, Gav. Little what's it called? Iron. Little iron chip. Iron, the golf club.
Pitch and wedge.
Wedge. Yeah, wedge.
Yeah.
See, pitch and wedge. That's it. Same thing.
Yeah.
Pitch and wedge.
60 degree
Bobby,
wedge.
and then Bobby.
He just had that
Bobby
face off with Van Aanholt as well, literally just before that, didn't he? Him and Van Aanholt got his face into him as well.
But this is it. This is the composure of the kid who's only still young. We keep forgetting. This is the class of the kid. And everyone's, of course, raving on about the rest of the goal. But I thought that chip was absolutely... I said to myself, I muttered under my breath, said, oh, what a pass. Well played, son. And then from there, Bobby takes over. I mean, Bobby literally, he does that sort of where he controls it and swivels at the same time, which, people with great vision and football knowledge know that that's the key to it. It just opens up the whole pitch for him. And then Robertson. I think Andy mentioned it in the WhatsApp afterwards. Count how many touches, lads. Guess how many touches he had from that to the end of the goal. And I must have thought 3-4 touches. He actually has 2 touches, lads. He has 2 touches to get to the edge of the box. And then he knows exactly who he's picking out. Again, we want to talk about the movement of our front three in terms of creating that space. Defenders don't know which one to pick up. Minamino's intelligent with his run. Naby's important with his run, I think it was.
There's a deadly little detail in the goal as well. There's a deadly little detail in the goal. As Bobby's bursting into the box, you can see him telling Mane, make the run to the right. Yeah. And it literally opens up 2 yards of space. We are like the fucking Mighty Ducks.
And that touch.
The Mighty Ducks, what a show.
It's that touch. It done me. That touch, that first touch, Bobby. That's when you know Bobby is absolutely oozing confidence. And that touch he takes. And he actually, it's an unorthodox finish, lads, because it's very awkward. Like it's like you'd think that the normal thing to do, because he's got the time to sort of get it under control and hit either corner. But he forced himself to be in a kind of awkward position that only Bobby does, where he's kind of looking again the opposite way and just flicks it with his right foot into the corner.
Unbelievable finish.
It's Romario-esque. The old Romario used to do those finishes. Bebeto used to do those finishes, and it's and he's carried on doing that. I thought that's the point. That's the time where I think whoever was watching that game from other clubs must have thought, oh, these guys are back now. All the doubts and all the Liverpool and can they do it again or whatever. That third goal, I think, just sat everyone down on their asses, and I thought, this is going to be one long season again chasing these fuckers.
Super Tiger says it was 11 seconds from Trent Alexander-Arnold's interception before Bobby tops it past Guetta. Universal boss Jurgen Klopp. Can I just call him Universal? Because I feel like I'm taking ages to read out his name. When Jota comes back, thanks for the super chat though. When Jota comes back and plays where he left us before his injury and Thiago feeding them on all 4 on fire, we will give teams nightmares. We absolutely will. No doubt about it. And as Seany said, if you time this right, you get onto a bit of momentum and lads start falling back into the side as well. It could happen. There's one lad in there, Jahid, says he feels that Manchester United will win the title. So we'll get onto that in a little bit. I want to talk about a couple of other sides as well. But look, it gets to half time in Liverpool at 3-0 and they're coasting. Before I get into the second half, this show, of course, is brought to you. You will see down the side of the screen there by Manscaped. This is your last chance before Christmas. Go to manscaped.com, enter LFC DT, and any purchase you make there will give you 20% off and free shipping. And hopefully they can get it to you in the next 3 to 4 days before Christmas. This stuff is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Seany, we've all used it, haven't we, Seany? Seany, I did quote you on this show, I think it was last week or the week before, where you said, my most favourite part of the season, I might have been overtaken now by yesterday, but you did say my favourite part of the season was using that Manscaped gear earlier on. So I did quote you on that, and anyone,
there was no paraphrasing there whatsoever. I think you probably maybe even dulled it down a little.
I dulled it down a little bit, Seany. Yeah, I did, for the kids.
You made a bit more PG, because you know I think we're past the watershed, but you still have to be careful. But
Go on then. What exactly did you say, Seany? Just in case people are watching the show from 2 weeks ago and they're wondering, did he really say that?
yeah, it's ball bag heaven. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
to be honest
okay.
with you. The thing is like a bleeding. It felt like Luke Skywalker. I did bleeding, taking the thing out. Right, though.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's we're going. It's a little bit of a tangent here, but the whole presentation of the product is unbelievable.
Immaculate.
Yeah.
It's like it feels like if you ever bought an iPhone or something like that, or an Apple product, but the way they're packaged,
Yeah.
like there's something about the packaging. It's weird. I don't know. Maybe there's a bit of a technophobe with me that like love stuff like that. But I just felt like Manscaped. How much are the packages?
It depends on when you buy.
The shed, that one there, like unbelievable. Like when you open the box, you have the bag there, you have the little ointments and the ball creams, or whatever you want to call them. But, like,
toner and deodorant.
Yeah, and the charger and stuff like that. It's brilliant. Honest to God, like I put it up on my Instagram, and like I've been out with a few of the lads since, and they were like, what's the story? Where I was like, they're curious, you know. I think everyone is curious in a way, and I was saying like it's one of them things. It's something that you never realized you needed until you had it. Do you know what I mean? Because if you didn't have it, you'd be like, it really like an unbelievable product, and fair play to them, because it seems like they're flying. You see them everywhere, for fuck's sake. I don't know whether but I can't wait to go again. I just can't wait for my hair to grow back. So,
Getting up every morning and checking it with a ruler.
Fucking great it is.
Shaving the skin off there every day with your thing.
Taking me protein, me hair, the nail tablets so fast.
Rubbing just for men on your groin. Doing all that sort of stuff. But listen, like, no, it is. It's quality, and we've all used that. And genuinely, it is. It's brilliant. And Seany's right. The way it's packaged, it actually comes in a box that looks like, you know, you've bought a pair of runners, but a really nice, expensive pair of runners. And you open it up, and you have got the deodorant, the toner. You have the charger in its own separate bag. You have the razor itself, and then you have slid underneath nice and neatly, and it comes out of the box then is the leather bag that you can hold everything in. But as I said, manscaped.com, LFC DT as your code, 20% off and free shipping. And look, if you do it tonight, you might get it by Christmas. If not, it's a nice little present for you or somebody else in the new year. But support them, and that supports us. All right, into the second half, and Keith, I'm going to come to you. You're 3-0 at half time, and I'm being honest, I'm sitting here going, right, this is when I'd love 5 subs, simply for the reason you can start resting fellas like all over the shop. And I'm saying 3-0 do it. Even if they get one back, I'm not bothered. No injuries, let's get out of here. And Liverpool don't. We just decide, no, I'm not having this. We're just going to put our foot down now and dismantle these. And it starts with it's Henderson, isn't it? Makes a 4. With a brilliant goal, brilliant work by Kate, a brilliant work by Trent, and a brilliant finish. And it was a sign of things to come in the second half. Matt Hayes, Tottenham blog, says Bobby went from luck, no goals to no luck goals. I like that. But Keith, we just put the foot down, and 8 days rest. Let's just give it everything we have now to the end.
Yeah, we really. I know. Look, we've said it earlier. It was a tough. Maybe didn't deserve to be 3-0 down, Palace, but we came out 3-0 up, and we knew. I suppose we could smell blood at that stage, and then we just punished them. And you're right, it was a great goal. This one was an excellent goal. 50 something early in the second half, isn't it?
52, I think.
52 minutes. Keita does very well, puts the ball over. Trent sets it up, and it's a goal. We spoke about it yesterday. It's very Steven Gerrard-esque. It's that sort of whipped ball in, Chris said, whipped into the post. Henderson has it in his locker. Doesn't do it an awful lot, but he has got that strike in his locker. But it's not an easy strike. It looks like it's like routine, but it's not, because, you know, when you're coming at that angle and you're whipping it, it can easily go wide. You can easily whip it too much, and you know, the keeper can get across and save it, but there was no saving that one. It was a brilliant goal, and it was, you know, we'll come on to Hendo, I'm sure, as well. And if anyone saw Match of the Day, I'm sure everyone watched Match of the Day when we won 7-0.
Oh, I didn't.
Just to hear the reaction of some of the contributors. Jermaine Gene has done an excellent analysis of Jordan Henderson. of his game, about how he slots in for Trent and how he slots in for Robertson. And it was brilliant. You know, it was actually one of the best things I've ever seen Jenas do. But that's it sounds like you're smashing things when you're opening them tinnies.
Oh, it's just cans of Guinness.
Yeah.
Sorry, Keith. Sorry.
You'll put me out my stride. But yeah, it was a great finish by Henderson, and it was just the last thing Palace wanted, because there was still that narrative of Istanbul and Liverpool were 3-0 up before and Palace got 3, even though that was a different Liverpool. That's not this team. Do you know what I mean? That's not Klopp's Liverpool. And it's a week between Fulham and this Palace game, but it was fucking years apart, because you could see in the Fulham game we just weren't at it. In this game we were at it from the very start, and that was the main difference. So there was no fear of Palace coming back into this, but we just kept nailing another nail into the coffin every time, and it just continued and continued. There was no let up, and that was a great way to start the second half. And shortly after that, Minamino has a chance. I think it was after that one, was it? Minamino goes through and rolls one past the post.
Yeah, should have scored.
Really scored it, but it was just a sign that Palace were on the ropes. You know, if it was a boxing match, you know, the towel would have been thrown in. If Roy could have shook hands on 52, I think, and gone home, he would have.
But that's the thing. I think at 3-0, you're looking going, yeah, you know, Palace aren't getting back into this game. But the thing about it is, 4-0 is just like, it's just knocking the stuffing out of them. It's absolutely like 7 minutes into the second half. It's just knocked them. Really, really has. Grizz, the next talking point. Go on.
It would have knocked them at halftime for being 2-0, but the way we came out.
Yeah, but you know the way. But you know
what dreams.
Yeah, but what I mean is, you know, when you go to halftime and managers do this, let's win the second half sort of shit, and then you come out and 7 minutes later you're fucked.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was. But I don't think it was a case of let's try to win the second half, because of the spirit of Istanbul or whatever they fucking call it. It would have been one of those, let's get the next goal and let's try to get it in the first 15 minutes, and they would have charged themselves up and revved themselves up to do that. But we weren't having any of that bollocks. Like, you know, start of the first half, we started off like we started off the first half, but we just fucking kept our foot on the net for the rest of the game. And that's again a sign of last season's Liverpool, where we're just relentless. We're just machine-like, and that kills off any hopes. Any energy that they had remaining was gone as soon as Hendo, you know, struck the ball. And I agree, Hendo has got that in his locker. But again, Henderson, in my opinion, is very much a confidence player in terms of when he's confident, his passing and his shooting looks so crisp. And again, it was a sign of his confidence that he struck that. And I agree, it could have been awkward, but the layoff was just so good, so perfect, you know, and that sound of that strike was beautiful. That just buried them completely when that fourth went in straight after halftime. It
does bury them, and I think you have to give credit to a couple of players in it. Like Keita could easily have a shot from there, or play it safe, you know, pirouette with it and look for Robertson, or play it back into the middle of midfield, or, you know, but he doesn't. He plays a really, really good ball to Trent, who could literally take it out of his feet and hit it if you wanted, but he doesn't. He hears the shout from Henderson, and it's perfectly into Henderson, and it's a brilliant, brilliant finish. And it just puts end to Palace. I think you can see their actual effort is gone. The effort is even stopped. Kieran Tormer, the super chat, he says, and thanks very much. He said, Firmino game gone to another level since LFC released a quiz with Alisson, and he did it 80% of English for the first time. Obviously, just talking more English, and his form has gone through the roof. I don't know how true that is, Kieran, but we're willing to go with it. You know us, we don't give a shit. We go with that. But Seany, the next talking point in it is the substitution of Mane off and Salah on, and Mane doesn't look too happy about it. I said on me, and I think me, Keith, and Chris that were on the reaction show yesterday said, we don't care. You know, if he's upset and you know, he gets off the pitch and everything's fine, grand. If he's still upset after the game, fine. I've no issue with it. What did you make of it, Seany? Because I thought it was a bit strange, but I don't think any sort of issue.
I always find the hyperbole around those reactions as it's a bit stupid. Always like Mane was probably feeling it there yesterday. He's in the groove. He knew we were opening them at will. Everything we were hitting was going in. He just wanted to stay on the pitch and score goals. Like if your goal scorer doesn't want to be playing football, then you have serious issues. Like, because what would you rather be, like Divock? Just turn around, stroll off.
Yeah.
But this is the intensity.
Having a smoke or something. Yeah.
the want of these lads to better themselves every week for stats, for numbers, always looking to improve, always looking. They smelled blood yesterday. There's no way he wanted to come off. He was smelling blood.
He knew there was a hat trick in there for him if he'd have stayed.
It was the same at Burnley last year. It was the same thing, and he tried to create these little narratives and the riffs. Like, I was more. I know we're going to get onto it. I was more annoyed at the kind of the way Salah was, the way he celebrated and non-celebrated both his goals after the interview that he'd just done. That would annoy me more than Mane's reaction. And we've seen a few times when Salah's got whipped off, he's had a strop as well. So, look, these things are completely normal in football. These lads are ultra competitive. All they want to do is, at the end of the season, they want titles, whether they're individual or team-based ones. They want to be in the hat. And that's what they're doing. The two boys are in a competition with each other. Trent and Robbo are the exact same, but they're more friendly about it. But they're like, the players would have you believe that it's fierce competition between the two lads just to see who gets the most assists. So, look, these are healthy things. This is a sign of a healthy squad. It's a sign of a healthy squad, and it's brilliant. Like, and look, we're led to believe that these lads' contracts are heavily incentivized. So obviously, it probably cost Mane a few quid yesterday going off after 55 minutes. You know,
but like it could be something similar. It could be something simple as Mane type is getting an error. And at 57, they're taking him out. He's going, what the fuck? You told me an hour. And they can't be that precise about it. Players could be going 3 minutes because, like, literally Salah comes on and Firmino scores. Do you know what I mean? So Mane is probably looking, going, that could have been me. Do you know what I mean? And you're right. There's an absolute, like, hunger, a thirst for goals, especially in Mane's case, because people have been at him a little bit. Firmino's turned it around, especially with the goal against Spurs during the week. But Mane, people are in his ear, and these players hear this, you know, that way, and he's there going, I'll get another one here and another one, and maybe he's going, you should have given me the 3 minutes more. But there's no issue about it. And you're right, go back to Burnley. They tried to make this up because, for me, Burnley was a massive game last season where people were going, oh, Burnley away, Liverpool are never comfortable there. And Liverpool just destroyed Burnley that day. And what did the media take over? Mane wasn't happy. That's the day that Firmino's given the side eyes going up the tunnel and all, and everyone having to crack on the bench. But it was the day that people took notice and went, listen, lads, these are going anywhere they feel like it, and they're actually just swatting teams away. But the media tried to put it as Mane being upset. But for me, be upset if you want. There's no chance of Mane turning around. I think 10 minutes after you get into that dressing room, and there's an issue. I just genuinely don't.
The thing about the competitiveness as well with the two of them, you won't see that reaction from Bobby. It's not his personality or whatever. Yeah. That's not to say he's not competitive, but like they're going for the golden boot every year. I think Salah keeps beating Mane, or they were level 2 years ago, weren't they? They both got the same amount of goals. They're going for African Player of the Year every year as well. You know, and it's forget about Liverpool. These are the two sort of best players in a continent as well. And the competition between them, while it's friendly competition, it's still competition. You know, they still want. We know Salah wants personal accolades. We know that. It's not a dig at him. He's come out and said it. He said it all the time. Yeah, he wants personal accolades on top of group, which is great. But Mane is no different. Mane is so competitive. He wants personal accolades. He wants, you know, to be the African Player of the Year. He wants to be the golden boot in the league. And he's there. He's almost at it. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, the beauty of it is Mane's become this. Some could accuse Mane of not having that cold blood killer instinct before he came to Liverpool or before Salah came. And seeing Salah getting all the accolades and getting all the goals and all the you know, everything, calling him the talisman.
Yeah, his position changed as well to accommodate.
It's grown Mane's game, absolutely, and Mane's a different beast now. So it's brilliant while they're at the club and while they're in sort of, you know, healthy competition. It was different from the Burnley one because the Burnley one was sort of between them two in terms of
he should have passed it.
Right, it was a passing incident.
Yeah.
Now my opinion on this is a little bit different, but because look, for me, Jurgen Klopp is king. He decides when, who, how. And one of the reasons what gets underrated and not looked at enough is how he's managed these absolute two, because let's get it straight. After Messi and Ronaldo, these two are the absolute elite attackers of world football. Now you see the situation where how often do we see Messi get substituted or Cristiano Ronaldo? You know, their coaches are too scared to take them off or whatever. And
Look
they
at
know
Mbappe
because,
at PSG when he gets taken off. It looks like he wants
absolutely,
to box the head off Tommy Tuchel.
absolutely,
and I'd let him. I'm all for it.
absolutely. But the thing is, now, you know, Jurgen Klopp does it on what minute was it? It was quite early.
57.
57 minutes. Now, to me, that's a sign of also from a Jurgen Klopp point of view, showing that he's in charge here at all times. And I think that is very crucial for the whole spirit of the squad and for the team and for the world to know that, you know, beyond that smiling and happy and hug merchant, he knows exactly what he wants. He's got everything planned to a T. And the players, in my opinion, should show that. There's absolutely no harm in showing passion and you're pissed off. But for me, there's got to be a point where you're crossing that line and then you shake your hands. And once it's off, once you're off, you're sat there. I think you should change your persona, especially when you know the world's cameras are looking at you.
Yeah, but Grizz, they're not robots.
It's hard.
Like,
no, they're not robots. I get that. I get that.
I love this stuff because we go on about VAR and stuff and taking the life and the passion out of the game. Like when you see players reacting like that, it shows you the human element of them. Yeah. Like Bobby running down and celebrating in front of the fans. We see how much it means for Bobby, for fans to be back. His game has upped marginally since he's had the fans back, and it's just it makes you feel more connected. It makes the players more endearing. If you ask me, if you see that, Jesus, they care whether it's for a personal reason. They're not just robots just getting thrown out to play 90 minutes every week. And,
no, I get that. I totally agree.
And that can happen with top teams, is where they do become a bit robotic. Like the really good Barcelona team, they were all robots. They were all just cogs in a machine, and you could tell that they were. That's why Guardiola initially had to leave Barcelona, because he believed he was running them into the ground and he was taking away. They were saying it was actually affecting their outside life. Klopp has built this machine with perfect harmony. The lads are just hungry. They're like wolves. You probably see a reaction now against West Brom. They'd be playing like dogs. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
there's no doubt in my mind, Seany, that he goes, all right, he sits there, he might look a bit pissed off on the bench. Who fucking cares? Like, you see fellas on the bench and they're in the stand and they're on their phone and they're whatever, you know. Mesut Ozil's just hanging about asking for the crack, you know what I mean? And they make a lot out of that. But there's no doubt in my mind that they go back in that dressing room, and I guarantee you, if Mane has even a look of a frown on him, somebody's going to give him a slap in the back of the head and go, oh, look at you giving out again. And the lads are, and he's going to go, and Mane looks like he's the sense of humor to go, oh, fuck off. Do you know what? It happened to me again. You know, the kind of, and he just gets caught up in the moment. There's no issue for me.
Wasn't that mentioned on the wingmen with Robbo and Trent that he said, like, Mane got pelters in the dressing room at 12 more after that?
Yeah.
They were all thinking this how. You know what I mean?
Do you remember there was a narrative, a huge media thing, a witch hunt about, there's trouble in the camp. It went on for the week, and they're like, no.
Grizz, will you stop putting comments up on the screen, please, of people that they want to unblock you? Thanks.
He would have, like, them lads would have left the game yesterday, fucking protein shakes, all that, having the laugh, getting on the bus, 3 points, increase the gap. Who gives a bollocks? You know what I mean?
No way they care. No way they care.
They don't.
Grizz. Go on. Yeah, it is. It's one of those. It's a heat of the moment thing, and then it's kind of forgotten about. And there's no way Mane is leaving that dressing room in any sort of huff. If anything, he's probably leaving embarrassed because the lads have taken the piss out of him. That's the sort of group they are. Grizz, Salah does come.
Mane wasn't going mad to get whipped off. He just realised that he didn't put his manscape on charge. That's what happened.
That's what it is. Full 19 to 20 minutes of shaving, if it's fully charged, by the way. There you go.
Down on it. The light is flickering. Can't be doing it without the light.
Grizz, Salah comes on, and I want to touch on, there's 3 goals there, but I want to touch on 2 of them, the Firmino one and the final Salah one. I think his first header, you know, it's a good jump by Matip, and it's a decent finish. Seany, you say he doesn't celebrate and stuff like that. I think he's a very humble person. I think it does get a bit embarrassing. But no, I think he is. I think it gets a bit embarrassing for people as professionals to be doing that. It's very rare. Listen, Seany, come here and I tell you.
He's up as howl. Salah is up as howl.
But what I mean is, I think he has a respect, maybe humble, maybe not, but I think he has a respect for his fellow professionals. That's the way I want to put it. Because look, Seany, come here. If he heads that in, right, and tears off off around the pitch with a swinging his jersey over his head. You're not laughing at him, you know what I mean?
Ryan Giggs, but he can fucking crack a smile. That fuck's sake, you know what I mean?
He kind of does, but I think he's been like that. Any goals he scored with no crowd there. But
before we move on, can I just throw one thing in? Did anyone hear the comment when I think it was in yesterday's game where they said that talking about Bobby's celebration against Spurs was reminiscent to Adebayor from Man City against Arsenal?
No,
when Adebayor ran to the bleeding Arsenal fans, they were comparing Bobby doing the same thing.
Stop it.
Idiots.
It was almost like Bobby was running to the only stand where there was fans on the ground.
Yeah. Unbelievable. But Grizz, I want to come back to you. And Salah comes on, and almost immediately he puts a through ball to Firmino, and it's a good touch. It's a great finish. But Palace are out on their feet. Then even the ball through was good, but the Palace defender is just like, I'm not chasing this again. But it's actually a really good finish, Grizz, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, how demoralizing must it been for the Palace players when they're getting beat 4-5, right? And then the best goal scorer of the Premier League comes on, and I liked Salah's little cameo. I get where Sean is coming from in terms of sort of not, but I'm more on your side in terms of you can't be celebrating the 6th and 7th and goals, against a demoralized. You can't be taking the piss.
I would have loved him to like grabbing the ball out of the net, like where he was.
Yeah, one of those ones. Yeah,
putting it under his top. Calling Curtis Jones to do Bebeto celebrations and all, and just for the crack.
Do you know what I mean? But what made me sort of convinced me that he's fine was, as you said, his playmaking abilities. You touched upon his playmaking abilities. When he cuts inside, we've touched on it before. This guy is as good as anyone when he's in it sort of for the team in terms of not only looking to score goals, but to create goals. And he showed that in the past. And again, when he cuts inside and he plays the right, he's got it. He's got it in his locker. Otherwise, if he came on, he would have pissed me off if he came on looking to cut and shoot at every fucking opportunity, like he can be sometimes. He has done that in the past. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's say how it is. He has done that in the past. But once he comes in and starts playmaking, I thought both goals were fantastic, Gav. Even the first one, I mean, people are saying it was a simple header, but the reaction to be there, the calmness to sort of direct it into the opposite direction the ball was coming. And then, his second one was just, we've been waiting, to be honest with you, we've been kind of...
Don't get ahead of ourselves now.
Oh, yeah. All right. But yeah, generally, I thought his mood was okay, because I always look to see how he plays with his teammates when he's on, to see if he's sort of playing selfishly or unselfishly. And he knew the team has been absolutely impeccable in terms of everyone busting a gut for everyone. And he continued that trend by setting up and scoring himself.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent when he came on, and I think it's a great mix that you're able to do that with Mane for 60, him for 30. I think it's a brilliant way of looking after players, but getting the most of the team at the same time, because you do have to remember, Origi is not interested. Minamino's played there yesterday. Jota, of course, is out injured, and he's trying to nurse these players, I suppose, through a period where he can get back to some sort of strength again. And I think he's doing a decent job at it. And when you see players coming on and getting goals and assists, and everyone in the front line is contributing in different ways, I think it's excellent. It's a great sign of things to come. Seany, I'm going to give you the last goal. And it's a good build up again. Palace are just standing off us at this stage, but he tries this so many times, but this one is just pure, isn't it? It's a little touch, and he's put it. The keeper, I don't know what the keeper's diving for. When you see him behind the goal, the keeper's diving. He's about 8 feet away from me. I don't know. He should have just stood there and waved at it.
Yeah, it's an outright. Like it's. I hated the fact that since that Chelsea goal went in, as soon as that went in, it says, we're going to be seeing him doing this fucking every week now. Yeah. And he does try it an awful lot. And a lot of the time, he just seems to hit it straight at the fucking defender that's in front of him. But it's an outrageous finish. It's just cuts inside and bang. Like Grizz said, it's not talked about enough. I couldn't be critical of Mao sometimes, but he's the best goal scorer in the Premier League, hands down.
14 goals in 14 games this season.
Yeah, the fella, he's unbelievable. Like, what can you do? Like, that's what you said. Guaita, what's the point of even diving? You just probably should have just waved it into the top corner. But you're not going to say anything about Bobby second now.
That was my favourite in the whole bleeding game.
We did. I spoke about it. Grizz just spoke about it.
No, I thought he was talking about Salah.
No. The Salah puts Bobby through. It's a great touch and it's a great finish. I said to Grizz.
And the fourth Salah's goal, he knows nothing about it. Bleeding. Matip ping balls it off his head. He just fucking goes in. And fairness, a good finish as well. But now, like Grizz said, imagine you being Van Aanholt there, fucking after being chasing Mane, because Mane played on the right, and which was good to see. It was a bit of a throwback to 17, 18, like when Klopp's fourth season. Mane was unbelievable off the right.
16, 17.
16, 17, sorry. Yeah, it's just has to be soul destroying. And the boys know that if they're not on it, Jota comes around, you're going to be playing less minutes. So again, it's just competition breeds excellence. So they see it's unbelievable to see. Like it's
and Minamino looks better on that left side as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's always played his best stuff off the left. I thought the last game of the season against Newcastle last year.
Guys, with Minamino, how many times did we say though? It's the best time to judge Minamino is when we're playing in the first 11 in terms of everyone around him of equal quality. Yeah. He's been fucking lumbered with Origi and all sorts, right? This time he's playing with peak Bobby, because that's Bobby's at his best now, right? And he's playing with a hungry Mane, right?
Yeah. And his running was intelligent yesterday, wasn't it? His runs were very intelligent. He was dragging players out.
And Keith, we haven't touched upon him yet, but Naby Keita, a fit
was excellent.
Naby Keita, and that opens up all avenues for strikers. He's another THIAGO, type in terms of Gavin touched upon his pass. He could have easily recycled the ball, but he
calling me Gavin now to upset me. Go on.
But, he pings it out to first time to Trent. So Minamino's game is going to improve.
You know that Klopp gave Minamino a paragraph in the sports program. He said, I don't normally do this. I don't like doing it. He says, I don't really single out players in good or in bad, in negative moments or positive moments. He says, but to kill me Minamino since he's come in, his everything I want a footballer to be. He's willing to learn. He said, I told him he had to play midfield and Midland. He didn't moan. He saw that. He sees everything as an opportunity and he shows up every day and walks his balls off. And it's starting to pay off, and it will. We just need to be patient with these things. Keita is another story because there's been a whole lot of false dawns with Naby Keita. He's good. He's in the game. You see him. He's 2 or 3 games. They're like, Jesus, he looks undroppable. He's clever, smart. He's getting around the pitch. He knits everything together, and then he gets injured. Keita was brilliant yesterday. It's just so frustrating that if we had him for 38 league games a season, we already do, but we'd be so much more dominant. His intelligence is unbelievable. He was playing with real confidence yesterday. I think it was towards the end of the game in the 88th minute. One of their midfielders tries to press him, and he just does this little turn, flicks a little bear camp around him, and then just plays off. And you're just thinking, fuck me, if we could keep this fella fit, he'd be literally priceless to the squad. Hopefully he can get a run together now, because it's so vital now. We need these lads to step up, the lads on the fringe to come in, and even Ox come on and had a nice little cameo. He showed you what he could do. He sets a goal up. He set the Salah goal. It was hardly an assist. I know fucking you get the assist, but
of course he does.
You look bright. You look very bright.
XG chain ghosts.
This is unbelievable for us, because nobody's talking about defensive frailties because they don't exist. It's not there.
We've been defensively solid since Van Dijk's got in, which would. Yeah. And the thing about that, Seany, what you're saying there, Naby Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, they're attacking midfield players. They're attack-minded midfield players. Curtis Jones has really stepped up to the plate as an attacking midfield player. Yeah. THIAGO will play more defensively and centrally, maybe, is attack-minded. And it just will change the dynamic of our team when we have these guys in. The lads are brilliant in there. When Alden Henderson do the job that's asked of them, Fabinho, when he plays there, does the job he's asked of him. But this will give us a whole new dynamic. And you're spot on. It's false dawn after false dawn with Naby Keita, but he was absolutely sensational yesterday. And you just want to see him keeping that up.
Sorry, Seany, just 1 second, Seany, because Jono's put a comment in here. I want to read it out, right? 110 goals in 173 games on all competitions for Salah is outrageous. And Mohamed Yogi, I'm going to say Yogi, even though it's a J, because I'm trying to make that right, but I don't know, Mohamed, I could be wrong. Gav, discuss the fact. I won't discuss it, but it's very interesting. In Premier League history, Salah leads with 0.97 contributions per game. That's goal contributions. Henry at 0.96. That's a fact of note. That is
It's mental.
Yeah, that is mental.
It's bonkers. Salah's numbers are bonkers, and he's not a stat padder. Like, it's not like fucking Bruno Fernandes started. He only really started taking penalties this season. So, like, he's unbelievable what he brings to us. And I know people are talking about, oh, would you get rid? He'd be the first to go, but he's so vital to this team, especially when he's clicking and playing like this. He's incredible on his day. He's invaluable to us, and you see the numbers that he puts up. It's just mental. It's mental. And him being that good elevates the other two lads, because Mane wouldn't be doing the numbers. It's like Messi and Ronaldo, but they're in the same team sort of thing. Like, you know what I mean? Messi go out and bang a hat-trick, and then Ronaldo be playing the game at 8 o'clock, and they drive each other, and it's a huge component, and you're absolutely off your tits if you think that it's not by design, because it's completely by design. What it is, people comparing. And when I say people, I mean Big Spurs Walsh comparing Firmino to Kane. It's a non-argument. Compare Kane to Mo Salah. Mo Salah is our main goal scorer.
Well, it's like comparing a whole nut bar to a Turkish delight. There's nothing the same.
It's like comparing THIAGO to Wilfred Ndidi. Yeah,
or shaving your balls with Manscaped as opposed to, a butter knife.
Yeah, it's like he's ridiculous, and considering the amount of chance that Salah squanders, like it's mental.
It is.
It's actually mental.
Ramiz Khalil super chat, thanks a million. He says Salah this season has been very underrated in his playmaking. He has the third highest chances created, and his overall play this season has been immense. Of course, 13 goals already this season. Grizz, I'm going to have to read a few of these out because I don't know what's going on, right? But Bilal Mohammed says, Grizz, unblock Cooler _King 70. He's learned from his mistakes, mate. Everyone deserves a second chance. I don't know what's going on, but I'm reading them out because they're a bit of crack now. And Alim Ahmed says, Gav, I know you're reading these tweets, right? Please tell Grizz Khan to unblock me at Al_Ahmed23. Grizz, take them under consideration. Can I also say something I've noticed in the chat? And it's, we have mostly men, I presume, in the chat, judging by the names and stuff like that, right? Some of them are just generic names, but there's two women in the chat, Laura Duffy and Antoinette, the name's got McConville. And no matter, I don't know, they're all talking football in the chat here, and they must be making outrageously good points, because all I see is agree with you there, agree with you there, agree with you there, and it's brilliant to see. So we might just have to replace Grizz with a woman from here on in, because they're making so much sense. That's all right. Is it all right, Grizz?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely fine. We're always looking to improve.
Well, we could do some sort of pro rata thing. I could do 1 week, and you couldn't, and then we could take turns having a week off. You know
me, I'm for the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm for the team.
Yeah, well,
touching on Salah's thing, man. I don't know if you want to. I don't know if he was going to segue into his the interview and everything he's done.
Yeah, well, go on, have a little word now. I wanted to talk on Keita, but you can go on. I'll give you the word on his interview.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna sort of say what I've been telling you in private. I think it's time to. We should just enjoy it for the fact that we've had Salah at his peak, and he's been absolutely, as Seany just said, and all those facts and figures. There's nothing to add to that. He's just going to be remembered for being one of the best all-time best goal scorers in the Premier League, and there's nothing anyone can do about it, because all the facts, all the stats say so. It's simple as, if whether you like him personally or you don't, and you've got this opinion of him, and that always happens. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo. He's got a love-hate relationship with worldwide fans, but do we dispute his numbers? No. Salah doesn't get the recognition. I don't know what the reason is. People can go into their own theories and say because it's X, because it's Y, because whatever. But the fact is, as Liverpool fans, I don't hate it when Liverpool fans, and there is certain sections of the majority obviously love him, but there are certain sections where he's not given the praise that he deserves. He's a mental goal scorer. But I think you know, with this interview, I don't think he's done anything wrong per se in terms of what he said when asked those specific questions. So, like the questions he's been asked is, "What do you think of Real Madrid and Barcelona?" He said, "Two great clubs. You know, would you like to play for them?" You know, all he replied was, "They're two great clubs. No one knows what the future holds, but I want to break every single record at Liverpool." Now,
That's not what I had the issue with the comment about the captaincy though.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was just up there. But this is the side, and this is exactly what I was going to say, Gav, Shawnee. But with the mention of the captaincy, you know, he didn't need to say that. And sometimes you got to call out something. If you don't agree with it, it's good. You have to be neutral and call it out for what it is. Klopp wouldn't have liked that comment, in my opinion. He absolutely wouldn't have liked that comment. He could have easily neutralized that question, even if it was asked him and said, "Oh, Trent, what a tremendous young player. I'm so happy for him." I don't think from the transcript that I've read, he mentioned that part. If he said it in jest, "Oh, I should have been captain," but, you know, said it in jest and then said, "Trent's a wonderful young player. I'm so happy for Trent," then so be it. But look, guys, I genuinely think this is going to be his last season, and cherish him, love him, enjoy him. I genuinely think these are the starting of whatever it is, you know.
Where does he go?
Not a get out campaign as
Oh,
such.
no, I'm not having the discussion where did he go. Don't start that, Keith. Jesus, we get into serious trouble.
No, regardless of where he goes. Look, I genuinely think, lads, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. He's had 4 years, is it? It would have been 4 years of his peak career with Liverpool. Yeah. You know,
he's an icon of the Arab world as well.
He's a global world star, guys. He's not a Liverpool player first. He's a global world star for his country first. He's very, very patriotic. And, you know, he's all about Mo Salah. I kind of agree with Shawnee. He's not, you know, I wouldn't say he's humble's the right word for him, but he's about himself, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. He's his own man. He's allowed to do what he wants. He doesn't owe us nothing. We owe him, kind of thing. Both. It's been mutual.
Isn't it mad though being like? Now I don't know how you feel. Maybe you feel different about it. Isn't it mad though being like a Liverpool fan, and one of your main men is you could probably say like posturing for a move. Look, whatever way you look at it, he might sign a new contract, he might go. But isn't it great just being able to go, yeah, well, if he wants to go, fuck him, like sort of thing. Like years we'd be begging, you'd be shitting it when you're seeing it, not only because of the state that Real Madrid and Barcelona are actually in financially at the moment, just because we're in a position now where if he went, we could probably take any attacker in the world and replace him. We really could. We have got
the only thing that wouldn't is us not willing to spend the money to get them. It's not that they wouldn't come, and that's the difference.
But I still think that we even would spend the money, Keith. You know, I think we would now. Like you see with Van Dijk, you see with Alisson, we see with THIAGO. That wasn't an MSG. We kind of broke the mold of that this year. And here, we probably won't go mega. We might, like, there's loads of young lads ripping her up in Germany at the moment. And they might just turn around and say, Klopp will probably say, hey, do you know what? Give me him and I'll turn him into a fucking superstar for you. But
I think he absolutely goes and does Sancho if he gets.
He might do. But the thing is, Gav, we're not over a barrel. We're not over a barrel anymore. And I think it's coming up. I don't know how you feel about it. Grizz said we have had his best years. I think this sounds a bit ruthless. And we talked about being ruthless last year with Seany and just get him out sort of thing. And he proved to be brilliant this season. And look, I want him to stay. But we can be ruthless here. We can make an example of Salah here. That not only will it send a message to the players in the squad, it'll send a message to anyone who's coming in to buy him. We could make an example out of him. We could turn around and say, yeah, do you want to go? All right, then, well, there's his price tag. Yeah. If you come in and pay it, he's gone. Simple as that. Not any of this shite are coming out. Oh, we won't sell him this and that. Like, normally you'd have James Pearce going, Liverpool just want to say he's not a sale, like the usual shite that they come out with. But it hasn't happened. I'm with Grizz on it. I think it could be his last Euros, and just enjoy it, because he's one of the best players to ever wear the shirt, and he's never let the club down or disrespected us per se. He's always represented us brilliantly, and look, he's getting to that age where he's probably looking at his last big contract. So look, you could have it. He houses nothing. Mo Salah houses nothing at this
And
moment.
that's the thing. And that's the thing I was trying to get to, Shawnee, as well. That he doesn't owe us anything.
No.
People sort of, he can't. He can. You know, it is the way of the modern world, the way of the modern footballer. And saying modern world, modern footballer, again, like you said, Mo Salah's been an absolute modern example of a guy who's will have fulfilled his contract without any fuss, without any issue, and bust an absolute gut for his club. And, you know, probably is going to be, you know, go down as one of the most coveted Liverpool players, hopefully by the end of, you know, the season. If he wins us another Premier League and possibly a Champions League, then, you know, fair play to him. And we have to be the recycle of this team, the sort of coming of the second Klopp team has to start somewhere. We can't afford to let all the forwards be changed in over a period of one season. And this is going to be the start. You know, the Liverpool fans need to get sort of used to the way, I'm sure most of them are, to the way FSG work anyway. So this is going to be another example of FSG working its magic. And I've got an absolute total faith in the recruitment and you know, Klopp's decision.
The way I look at it is, is that I'll appreciate Mohamed Salah till the day he stops playing for Liverpool, you know, and beyond that, you know, because like people still go on about Suarez to this day. You know, Salah is by far and away a way bigger influence over Liverpool Football Club than Suarez will ever be, and that's just the truth. When you look at the numbers, you look at the goals, the assists, the trophies, everything about Salah makes him way bigger than Luis Suarez at Liverpool. Does it make him a better player than Luis Suarez in his prime? I don't know, but I'm not too bothered about that. I just appreciate Salah till he goes. The thing at the moment about Wijnaldum is, he might want a new challenge, and you know, if he wants a new challenge, he's given us 4 years or 5 years or whatever it might be, and fair play to him, his family. Salah might be the same. Salah might be the exact same, but it's just a hell of a lot more money we're talking about, and you're losing a player that has so much influence on what we've done and the goals return and stuff like that. So you have to wait and see. Chris,
sorry, go ahead.
But Chris Brack is saying there's a report coming out that a good friend of Salah's is reporting, I think he said a good friend, that Salah is sad because Liverpool are trying to sell him. Rajiv said, Gav, you forgot Megan and Ella too. No, I wasn't here just to name check two people. I just seen in the chat that whatever conversation was going on, they seem to be getting an awful lot of feedback off it, which is great to see. And it's not only because they're women. Jesus, it's great to see. I watch this chat probably more than I listen to these lads, to be perfectly honest with you. And the chat does be amazing. It genuinely does. I watch it, and even when I watch it back later on, I kind of keep an eye on the chat, and it does be brilliant. But there is Ella, there is Megan, there is Courtney that comes on, there's Antoinette there that's on. Everyone is welcome, but it was just something that caught me eye tonight, because whatever conversation was going on, they seem to be making great points, because a lot of people were agreeing with them and saying they were making great points. I must look back and see exactly what you were talking about. Rajiv is trying to get me into trouble by just listening to every woman that's ever watched this channel. But it wasn't that at all. It was just something that was going on there, and I just thought it was great to see, because, like, don't get me wrong, you can get times when women are making great points and people just go, oh, she's a woman. That's not the point. If you watch football, you watch football. It doesn't matter, what you are, whether it's male or female. And I just thought whatever was going on in the chat tonight was excellent. And I will go back and watch it, to be quite honest with you. Rami says, think Salah might be pushing LFC for a new contract. It might be, because he's 29, but we don't know. And listen, this side is so fucking good. Just appreciate it while it's here, and whatever happens will happen. And be confident that if Salah went, or Mane went, or Firmino went, or anybody went, that they can be replaced, and we have the structure, the manager, the backroom staff, the owners, whatever you want, to absolutely replace them and move on. And that's what happened with the great United sides in the 90s. That's what happened when Arsenal lost a couple of players when they were going through their good period. Chelsea, City, players move on and they just replace them and keep going. You see Barcelona do it for years, Real Madrid do it for years, Liverpool are now in that position. So it's just one of those.
But if you look at the difference of when Emre Can left Liverpool and when Philippe Coutinho left Liverpool, we were sort of a team on the rise, and the fans were like, bastards. Gini Wijnaldum lets his contract run down, and Mohamed Salah, if Mohamed Salah says, look, I want to leave Liverpool, I want to try something new, they both go with the blessing, because they've seen through the job. Do you know what I mean? They've seen the job through.
I think what we're going to find now, I think what we're going to find in the next few months, and it shouldn't but it happens, and it happens at every big club, and we're the biggest club out there. You know, when you get in a situation like this, sometimes it becomes a very public affair in terms of who's pushing the move, and whether it's a club and Salah's got whiff of it, or whether it's Salah and the club don't want to be looked. You know, you got to take everything with a pinch of salt at the moment in terms of, you know, is it the club pushing him to go? You know, or
yeah, but you don't know. Hold on, you don't know. But you don't know, Grizz, if anything's happening. This is an interview that's done, and people went, "Oh, you said Barcelona and Real Madrid." First of all, Barcelona haven't got a pot to piss in. I've more money than Barcelona, and I don't have much. Right?
I get what you mean.
You know what I mean? Real Madrid are all over the shop. They're all over. They're signing players here that they don't use them. Zidane comes back now. They want him out. He's all over the place. They're all over the shop. So
their deals are all going to be swapsies as well.
But that's
offering players.
Yeah, but Keith, that's lazy journalism. Just throw Real Madrid and Barcelona at them. Yeah, that'll do a story. But there's nothing in this, because he's asked about Barcelona and Real Madrid, and he says what he says is, you never say never, but I want to, you know. And listen, no professional footballer in their right mind shuts down Barcelona or Real Madrid. Right, regardless of what state they're in, they are two massive clubs in the world of football. Right, in the footballing world. But he turns around immediately and says, "Brian, I want to break all the records of Liverpool." And what he means by that is, I want to score all the goals, and I want to win all the trophies. And that means that Liverpool are the most successful, and I come off as an absolute hero. And everybody wants that as a professional footballer. It's just the way it is. Just one last thing I want to say on Keita, though. It kind of dawned on me on that game that we don't need Keita assisting, we don't need a Keita scoring. We keep doing this in our heads, and we have to stop. If Keita just comes in and functions like that midfield three function, regardless of who it's for, Keita will be absolutely fine. Yeah. I just hope he gets through, especially this next 6 weeks. Free of any sort of niggles, and is not on the pitch every game, but coming on, starting some, coming on in some, and it gives us a chance to rotate and makes us even stronger. And that's what I want to see from Keita. Lads, we're messing. It's an hour and 16, but listen, let's quickly, right? Grizz, the festive period, Liverpool. I looked it up. West Brom. Because I'm brutal at remembering fixtures. I'm awful at it. But West Brom on Sunday the 27th, away at Newcastle on Wednesday the 30th, and away to Southampton on Monday the 4th before the FA Cup kicks in. So it's home to West Brom, away to Newcastle, away to Southampton. But Grizz, what do you want to see? What do you want to see over that festive period? Do you want to see, is it 7 points minimum for you, and see where we stand there going into January?
No, minimum, yeah. It's 9 points. I want to see no more injuries, and I'll touch wood. Klopp reported there's nothing sort of in terms of that. And then with the return of the players, Gav, that's all I want for Christmas and over the festive period. I want all the players come back that are supposed to come back. THIAGO's penciled in for Newcastle away. That should be the ultimate, like a new signing, inspiration that we need. To kick on, Gav, just to carry on this momentum that we've built over the last couple of weeks. And guys, we could sort of, by mid-January, be like sort of 10 points clear, 8 to 10 points clear. And, I don't think we'll be in a mood, or I don't think we're the team that's going to drop 10 points over the remaining fixtures after that. So I think it's it always is. I think this is a massive, crucial part of the season, where those 3 games you've mentioned, because whilst we play those very winnable fixtures, all right, I know games not played on paper and anything can happen in this wild, mad league that we're in, but whilst we play those 3 very winnable fixtures, the teams in and around us are playing each other, which will, obviously mean that we have a chance to pull away here and get a bit of a wedge. Twice we've used a golfing term. We've gone away from cricket terms to using golfing terms. I'm not happy.
Multi-sport platform, you say.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you don't seem to be happy at all. But listen, it's just the way it goes. Someone is telling me to calm down. What did I get excited about something there a minute ago? I can't remember. But I think it's 9 points from 9 points. Keith, instead of looking at what Liverpool can do, has this league started to take shape for you, or is it still one that's a bit bonkers?
I think it's mad. Grizz, we had a comment earlier. We were talking about off air, like about challengers and certain teams, doing well. I think the league is just going to chop and change below us. I think, I think come January, the end of January, I think it'll start taking shape. I don't think it's there yet. I think there's pretenders in there. We said about Spurs and Chelsea when they were the next two teams on our coattails, that they'll lose games they're expected to win, they'll lose home games they're expected to win, and it's been the case. It's come to pass already. In 3 games they've both dropped points that they should have really got. We've now got Leicester and United and Everton are behind us, and the same point will stand for the 3 of them. Man City to me are the threat. Man City are currently 7 points behind us with a game in hand, 8 points behind us with a game in hand.
Mm-hmm.
They're the threat to me, but until the end of January, I don't think we can take too much. United are there now. United are bleeding awful. They're a very good attacking team. We'll take that back. They're a very good attacking team. They've great strengths going forward.
They've a great strengths going forward, but I just think they're being underestimated by teams that are playing them every week.
Yeah,
I don't understand how teams aren't coming out and just saying to United, right, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to play dead in front of you and let you play through. Leeds came out today and just I'll have all the space you want.
That's the way Leeds play. They do it against everyone. You know what I mean? It's not, you can't really judge Leeds as a barometer. But if you look at Man U's recent wins, Leeds, Sheffield United, draw with City, beaten by Leipzig, bet West Ham, beaten by PSG, Southampton win, Istanbul win, West Brom win, Everton win. The games they're expected to win. Okay, the Man City draw, but they have a hoodoo over. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a hoodoo over Pep Guardiola, so that's sort of in tune what you'd expect. And some of these, like West Ham, are in decent form. You got a win against them, but they will drop points. They will fade away. They're a good team. Don't get me wrong. I think they're shy, right? But I think they're decent going forward. But they're woeful at the back.
I was waiting for you to say that.
They're bleeding at the back. They're pony. They are. They can be got at, and a good team will dissect them. But there's not many good teams, and that's why they're where they are. There's not many good teams in this league.
Well, there's some interesting stuff coming up now this week. Liverpool have West Brom at home, but Leicester host Manchester United. Chelsea, of course, host Arsenal host Chelsea one way or the other, and they play each other. And I'm nearly sure City have away to Everton. So there's a couple of crackers in there. Grizz, I want to talk to you about the January transfer window, because that's where me and you come alive, isn't it? That's where me and you start lashing in transfer agenda shows, having the crack, and we're going to do that for the month of January, aren't we?
We should be, and the main thing is, Gav, we need to tell the listeners we don't go by what the tabloids say and the newspapers. So it's our own opinions. It's through our own sources, so to speak, and I can't wait, Gav.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We are going to draw up a schedule for the next week to 10 days, mainly to get as much content out to you as we can, and also to try look after our sponsors who are very kind to us. And that they're usually here on a Sunday night and a Wednesday night and a Friday night, but everything all over the place. You'll probably find the Friday forecast on a Wednesday and stuff like that, but bear with us up until probably the 2nd, 3rd of January. We will get as much content out as we possibly can, and that's all we can do. We can shift stuff around, have a look at the fixtures, try fit stuff in. But myself, Grizz, Seany, Keith, and a few other lads as well are fully committed to bringing you as much content as we can. Rajiv was saying to me earlier, sorry Gav, I misread your point. I thought, I'm sorry, Rajiv, calm down, man, it's grand. It was seriously, it was literally just me reading a chat and just going, oh yeah, what's going on there? But it's great to see. It's just great to see the interaction overall in that chat. I think it's brilliant. Universal, I'm not calling you by the rest of your name anymore. That's the new rule for 2021. But both those teams are playing 2 games a week now, and the squad will be tested. Squads will be tested. I think injuries dictate most of the season, to be perfectly honest with you.
And smaller clubs will feel the pinch. You said it on the Friday forecast.
Yeah, they will.
Smaller clubs will feel the pinch now. They'll start losing bodies, and you've seen it already. Sanderberger goes off after 15 minutes or something for Sheffield United the other night.
Yeah,
because they're playing midweek.
Yeah, and you know something. I think they will feel the pinch. I think it's a massive mistake by clubs that voted for not having 5 subs. It's not about advantages or disadvantages. It's about player welfare. And if you can look after your player welfare, you have more chance of having them on the pitch. It's ridiculous in my opinion. A lot of people talking about the Poi, 5 million plus wages. So I don't know what's going on there.
He's no contract, isn't he? So they'll just look to get something in from him.
We'll have to wait and see. Let me see. Barry Devaney asked Gav, when's the draw for this Keane being announced? We're going to announce that in the next week to 10 days, and most people watching this will know about Keane. Keane Finnegan is his name, but the hashtag is Keane Strong. And listen, you go into the description, you click on the link, you'll see the GoFundMe page, and it will explain everything to you. But it's something we're back on until he gets to that $100,000, and I think it's a disgrace if we don't get him there, by hook or by crook. But what we are working on something along with a lot of people that have helped us out, and in the next week to 10 days, we will announce what we have come up with, what other people have helped us out with, and how we're going to go about this. But look, if you go in the description, click the link. You can donate if you like, or you can copy and paste and share it across your social media, and that would be absolutely amazing. It's also a pinned tweet on Twitter, and it's something that we are going to stick with until the very, very end. But we are planning something very, very good for listeners and for viewers and for anybody we can get a shout out to. We're planning something very good for that. Grizz, what are you doing for Christmas? Are you going to enjoy it, man? On the cans?
Yeah. No, it's a busy time. It's the trade that I'm in. It's a very busy time, so no rest for the wicked, unfortunately. But any time that is free, I'm going to be sort of spending on with you as usual. What more can you get?
All we're doing for Christmas is working hard, I think.
Absolutely,
isn't that right?
Absolutely. You know, as I said, no rest for the wicked, and you don't get more wickeder than me and you.
That's right. Very wicked.
Am I just here making up the numbers? Yeah.
No, we're very wicked. You're the measured one. Me and him are very wicked.
I made a note of that. I made a note. You're not wicked. You're absolutely the gentleman of the team. You're the. Who are you in the A team?
Murdoch, the mad one, didn't. Yeah.
There you go. You don't involve yourself in the dramas, in the wickedness. You're there to sort of neutralize us. You're the neutralizer.
Okay. He does. He keeps us on a level playing field, because somebody got upset during the week when me and Grizz looked like we're having a row. Me and Grizz don't row. Me and Grizz just annoy each other from one end of the day to the other, knowing. We're in WhatsApp groups, and we just annoy each other in WhatsApp groups, and like literally in a side conversation, but just me and him are having a good conversation about something completely different. It's actually we're talking directly about podcast stuff, and in another group we're just absolutely ripping each other literally at the same time. So that's how me and Grizz work. Gav, who will challenge us this season, says Free World. I think it's very easy in a league that's a bit mad like this and a bit poor, to be perfectly honest. I think it's easy for 2 or 3 teams to rise above that and have a good go. Yeah. And if you get on a run, anything can happen. I think United are reminding me of 13-14 Liverpool a bit. That's being honest. I think they're reminding me a bit of that. I think City will come strong, especially when they go out of the Champions League in February.
City've only scored 19 goals in 14 games. Like, that's deplorable.
Someone's asking why Seany left. He had a problem at home with the internet. It just crashed on him, and instead of just trying to join back up, he just left us as we are. But look, lads, what have we got this week? The forum is on tomorrow, and then we're literally getting off air here now to try draw up a plan for the next 10 days. It's been absolutely brilliant. It's been a brilliant Sunday night. Grizz, have an absolutely brilliant week and a brilliant Christmas.
Yeah, mate. Why are you saying it like we're not going to be in touch? Like, I don't get it.
I like to say it here. I like a sort of official announcement, Grizz.
Mad. We're literally going to get off this, and you're going to start messaging me until like you fall asleep. Literally, like I'm his last message.
2:30 in the morning.
Like, all right, so are we on 4? And I won't hear anything because he's fucking falling asleep whilst on the phone.
No, my last message is usually love you.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes you forget.
Sorry.
I think you're overcompensating.
You forget. You forget to tell Grizz once that you love him at the end of a night, and he holds it against you. No wonder Seany's my favourite. But Keith, it's been an absolute pleasure, and me and you and Grizz are going to try go and sort out something now over Christmas, aren't we?
We get something done, yeah. We get plenty of content out, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll do our best. Ali Ahmed said, "Please, Grizz, unblock me." What the fuck is going on here tonight? Barry Devaney says, "Super Podman later." Yeah, absolutely. Get across to Twitter, and you can watch.
I'll unblock you, but this is last warning. I don't normally block people, right? Fix
At
Don't act the
Al
bollocks.
underscore Ahmed23. Don't be acting the bollocks. Right, listen, that's definitely it. That has been the Fatback 4 for this Sunday. As I said, keep an eye out on our social media accounts over the next 24 hours or so, and you will know what's going on for the rest of the week. If you don't see, you will see us, but if you don't manage to watch the shows, or if you don't manage to get them downloaded or whatever it might be, I just want to wish you all a very, very happy Christmas from everybody on the Fatback 4. Thanks a million for all the support during the year, and of course, we'll be back next week. Will we be back next week just before the new year anyway? So we'll be grand. We'll be game ball. Yeah, we'll be grand. We should be okay. That's been it. Have a good one. Over and out.